Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nikos Angelidis, and this is News for You, broadcasting live from Athens. A Golden Dawn MP reportedly struck a 12-year-old girl while attempting to assault Athens Mayor Giorgos Kaminis after the mayor successfully stopped a Greeks-only food handout on Syntagma Square by the extreme right party. Golden Dawn MP Giorgos Germenis reportedly attempted to hit Mayor Kaminis inside a municipality stall, handing out Orthodox Easter candles and food to children. Kaminis evaded the punch by a 12-year-old girl who was reportedly injured. Reports also say that Germenis tried to reach for a gun, but he was stopped. The mayor confirmed the attempted assault. Riot police used tear gas to disperse members of Golden Dawn. Let's go now to our newsroom, where Elena Levizou has all the details and the reaction on this attack. Elena.
Yes, Nico. Well, what happened today in the center of Athens is unprecedented, really, in the modern history of the capital. As you said,
and we're talking about Easter, that everyone should be united and
yes, of course. It's
follow the Christianity spirit.
Exactly. Anyway, the thing is that what happened was that the Golden Dawn had decided to distribute Easter food only to Greeks. Now, the mayor of Athens, Mr. Kaminis, had announced from yesterday that he will not allow the racist charity, as he called it. Now, the Golden Dawn members went to the Syntagma Square this morning, and police forces were there. They collided with the police forces. They left the Syntagma Square, and they went at their offices, the party offices, near the Larissa station. Also near the Larissa station are the offices of a shop that Mr. Kaminis is distributing food to people who cannot afford it. The citizens
to the
of
Larissa
Athens.
station, let's say that we have many immigrants residing there, so it's...
Of course. Now, what happened is that Mr. Germenis reportedly left the office...
An MP for...
an MP,
Dawn,
of course. Mr. Germenis is an MP of the Golden Dawn, left the offices of the Golden Dawn and went to Mr. Kaminis. He tried, yes, he tried to punch him, but he missed him, and he punched a 12-year-old girl, as you said, Nico. Now, the Golden Dawn is denying all this, and they're saying instead that another MP of the party, Mr. Panayotaros, was injured by security guards of Mr. Kaminis. Now, Mr. Kaminis made a statement.
Two different sides of the story.
Completely different. Mr. Kaminis made a statement, and he said that democracy will prevail, and that unfortunately there was raw violence was used by an MP who is elected by the Greek people.
Will he sue the MP? Will he sue Mr. Germenis?
There are no reports about that at the moment, but he's not in custody at the moment.
Okay. Now, Prime Minister Antonis Samaras met this afternoon with Minister of Public Order, Nikos Dendias.
Yes, he visited the Ministry of Public Order, and he met...
I'm sure they've talked about this incident.
Of course, they talked about this incident and the recent terrorist arrests in Athens. However, in his statement, Mr. Samaras referred to the police members, the policemen, women and men, who fulfill their duty in the best way they can with sacrifices, as Mr. Samaras said. The security of the people is the cornerstone of democracy, the Prime Minister said.
Economic sacrifices that we all go through anyway. Now let's go to our Easter stories. It's Holy Week for the Greek Orthodox Christians all over the world. Here in Greece, due to the financial crisis, how are things moving towards the Easter celebrations, Elena?
Well, Nico, it's also almost summertime in Greece as well, despite the fact that we're still in spring. So due to the very high temperatures...
We're wearing light clothes and everyone.
Yes.
We're just saying that to make everyone outside Greece jealous. That's why.
Yes. Well, due to this high temperatures, the exit of the Athenians is expected to be quite big, Nico. It has the exodus has already started, and towards Peloponnese, towards the center central and northern Greece, and of course towards the islands, especially to the islands. The traffic towards the islands is 25% higher than last year. Yes, of course, that's very good. And also buses and trains are fully booked. However, more seats will be given tomorrow and on Saturday. But there is a strike in the trains at the suburban railway Proastiakos from Saturday 6 p.m. to noon on Monday.
Okay, Elena, thank you very much, and have a happy Easter.
You too, thank you.
Now, the sales of 33% stake of OPAP, the state monopoly in gambling, was sealed yesterday, marking the first major project to be successfully concluded in the stringent privatization program of the Greek government. Chrysanthi Franceskaki has the story.
The Hellenic Republic Asset Development Fund, TAIPED, accepted yesterday the revised offer of EMA Delta, totaling 712 million euros for the acquisition of the 33% package of OPAP shares. EMA Delta, a fund comprised of Greek Melissanidis Group, Czech private equity company PPF Group NV, and Italy's Lotomatica Group SA, raised its bid to 652 million euros, that is 30 million euros higher than the original offer. Upon signing of the agreement, the new owner will pay a sum of 622 million that represents the original offer, plus 60 million for the state's dividend in the year 2012. The remaining 30 million will be paid in 10 installments during the next decade. Finance Minister Yannis Tournaras spoke of multiple benefits for the state because, as he said, investment funds' confidence in the Greek economy is being proved. He also stressed that the privatization program will move ahead with determination in an effort to accelerate the country's pace as it emerges from the crisis. As a result of the deal, the ownership of Greece's OPAP, who has been for 55 years under the state control, passes to the Greek-Czech consortium. On the part of the opposition, the announcement of the sale triggered severe critique, with Syriza talking about a degrading offer. According to TAIPED's statement, EMA Delta's offer amounts to 18.6 times the estimated profits of OPAP in the current year. As it concerns the remaining privatization program, TAIPED is said to have decided extending the deadline for the submission of bids for two major Greek energy companies, DEPA and DESFA, to the 20th of May.
The June summit of European Union leaders must focus on cutting disastrously high levels of youth unemployment, Italian Prime Minister Enrico Letta said after a meeting with European Commission President José Manuel Barroso. Speaking at the end of a series of visits in Berlin, Paris and Brussels, he said he was returning to Rome more optimistic. Barroso, on his part, reiterated that the Union supported efforts by Letta to grow Italy's economy, but public finances must be kept in order.
Of course, we discussed also about the next European Council, and I mentioned to President Barroso how, for us, it is important to have in June, not next year, in June, some important signals for the European citizens in terms of recovering hope, confidence, and this is for us maybe the main engagement and the main job.
As regards the new growth measures announced by the Prime Minister, we trust that the government will finance this in a credible way in order to keep the deficit below 3% of GDP in 2013 and achieve and maintain a balanced budgetary position in structural terms, which is essential to put a high debt on a steadily declining path.
A brand new face has been given to a woman from Vermont, USA, after a successful face transplant. The woman was left with a disfigured face after her husband poured in her face industrial strength lye in 2007. The lye burned more than 80% of her body.
A new face has been given to a Vermont woman after a successful face transplant. She was left with a disfigured face and body in 2007 when her husband dosed her with industrial strength lye that burned more than 80% of her body.
I have been on this incredible journey for the last 6 years in receiving this wonderful gift.
In February 2013, a team of 30 surgeons performed a full face transplant. Through the 17-hour surgery, the woman's muscles, tendons, and nerves were replaced by those of the donor. The woman had undergone 55 surgeries before she made the decision to get a full face transplant. At Wednesday's press conference, her transplant surgeon described the procedure.
We knew that identifying a match for Carmen would be difficult, and that managing her rejection after the transplant could also prove challenging. But we developed a plan to address this.
The woman called the surgery heaven sent.
My hopes were exactly what I have today. My hopes were to have the pain in my neck relieved, and it was instantly when I woke up.
The Vermont woman will undergo several small surgical procedures in the coming months.
Protesters clashed with police in Seattle as a May Day rally that began peacefully turned violent after dark, with demonstrators hurling objects at the officers who responded by firing flashbang grenades and pepper spray. Officers in riot gear, some riding in armored SWAT vehicles, repeatedly fired the grenades and tried to disperse the crowd. Meanwhile, thousands of people marched in Manhattan to protest against the recently proposed U.S. immigration reform. Immigrant workers joined political activists, some using May Day as a chance to demonstrate for their cause. Some people say the immigration proposal is to create a second-tier class of citizenship. Let's see now. The Athens stock market is up 0.31%, closing momentarily at 977.07. Let's take a look now on some temperatures worldwide. And these are the top stories for now, ladies and gentlemen. Due to strikes called by the Journalist Union, our news bulletin will not be broadcast on Holy Friday and Monday after Easter. All of us here at News4U wish you a happy Easter.